What happens when a dynasty stops feeling like a dynasty? Atlanta FaZe entered 2024 with everything a team could ask for. They had the chemistry, the pedigree, the rings, but by the end of the season, something was missing. How does a team that wins almost everything still fall short when it matters most? This is the story of Atlanta FaZe's 2024 season, the highs, the heartbreak, and the rebirth of a new era, Vegas FaZe. If FaZe failed, it's not just a season lost, it's potentially the rewriting of their legacy. FaZe didn't change a single piece. They still had Simp, aBeZy, Cellium, and Draza under Crowder and RJ. Expectations were still sky high. Dominate the majors, win champs, and reclaim that throne from Optic Texas. While every other team made moves, including the formation of that super team on LA Thieves, FaZe stood still. But even before the first event, there were still questions about this FaZe team. Could their system and could their players still compete at the top echelon of Call of Duty in a faster, more chaotic meta? 2024 came around, and FaZe were expecting dominance. We were all expecting FaZe to dominate. But the year didn't really start that way, did it? Through the first qualifiers, FaZe looked a bit off, right? They had a 1-3 record, but that included a 3-0 loss to the Carolina Royal Ravens, and then 2 more to LAT and Toronto. For a team that's built on momentum, this is more than just a stumble. This was a warning sign. Has that FaZe machine finally started to run out of gas? Well, then came one round that completely flipped that switch. Simp's 1v4 on Vault S&D, that might have been the single play that reignited their season. From that moment, everything clicked.
He makes falls. Can he find any more? No, it's all down to Sim. It's a 1v4 and it's soon to be over. Wait a minute, he's managed to make a meal of it. 20 seconds on the clock. Forward we go. Oh, and that, oh, never mind. It's 1v1. It's a 1v1. Sim. Can he do it? Against metal. Oh, unbelievable moment.
FaZe tore their way through Miami Heretics. They tore their way through the Minnesota Rocker. They then avenged earlier losses against both LAT and Carolina. They got their get back. And then they captured the Minor 1 title. So what's that? 30 CDL points and 20,000 in prize money. They carried that fire straight into Major 1. They dismantled Boston Breach 3-0. They dismantled Toronto 3-0. They fought through LAT and survived 3-2 in the winners finals. Then came that rematch in the grand finals against LAT. In the grand finals, it went all the way down to a Skyline S&D. Map 7, round 11. Did FaZe have the mental composure to take that? Well, let's find out here.
FaZe, read it. FaZe. It's an execution. They've taken over the A-bomb. And they're reading the flank too. Scrap delivers. It's an immediate jump. And his brains not broad. They get FaZe the win! You can take your superstars all the way to the final moment.
The message was clear. When they find momentum, FaZe don't just win, they overwhelm you. After Major 1, the dynasty looked alive. Statistically, FaZe led the entire field in hardpoint with a 1.12 overall KD, and they posted the best overall S&D record at 7-2. Heading into Major 2, every armchair analyst, every armchair general, they asked the same question. Is FaZe actually this good? Or are they just lucky? Well, in the qualifiers, small cracks started to appear. They dropped a few maps here and there. They started a bit slow, but FaZe still marched through LAN on autopilot. They eliminated Rocker and Cloud9 with ease, but then they faced Vancouver Surge twice. This was a Vancouver Surge team that was built to challenge their pace once they added Neptune to the lineup. What were the results? A 3-2 nail-biter in the winners finals and a 4-0 dismantling in the grand finals. FaZe had gone back-to-back. This was FaZe's best season start in CDL history, or one of their best season starts in CDL history, and they had the numbers to prove it. Their series win rate up until this point was 85%. Their hardpoint KD was 1.11 and their map differential was plus 16. As Major 3 began, you had people on Reddit, your fans, analysts, casters. They asked again, can FaZe maintain the dominance, or is this dynasty showing signs of decay? The first metric which showed a decline was their control KD. It dropped to a 0.95 during the Major 3 online qualifiers. This was well below their season average. So the qualifiers were quite messy. FaZe went 3-2. Why was it messy? Well, they were dropping maps to Miami Heretics and Toronto Ultra. Surely this was just an online blip. Maybe this was just the qualifier online cheese. Well, winning on LAN during Major 3 wouldn't be an issue, right? Well, at LAN, they beat Cloud9 and they beat Optic. Remember Vancouver Surge? Remember what we said before? They reminded everyone why they were a rival. They defeated FaZe 3-1. Well, okay. Surely FaZe could regroup, make the losers run to get to the finals. Nope. Miami eliminated them from contention. FaZe were out at top 6. The warning signs continued. Sim's hardpoint KD went from the MVP 1.12 to now a 1.05. FaZe's map differential went from plus 16 to plus 4. Barely positive. But the problem here wasn't raw talent. FaZe's aggression clashed with Cell's almost measured playstyle, right? Their communication and listenings sounded a bit lagged, a bit desperate, a lot of urgency. High pressure situations exposed hesitation. You could see that on the minimap. It was chemistry that was starting to become the issue. Even Simp admitted in the podcast with Attach, say that the vibes were off.
Honestly, since we lost EWC, it felt like there was going to be a lot of movement. Like, I feel like there was, I mean, even after champs, I felt like there was a lot of times I was like hitting up the group chat, not really getting anything back.
Yeah.
You know, kind of catching a vibe, like, you know, shit was off.
A dynasty that thrived on momentum and confidence was now beginning to show big cracks. And if you guys know, in high-performance sports, once cracks start to appear, you don't have time to heal them completely before the next test. Major 4 was a chance to reset for FaZe. FaZe finished second in the online qualifiers, and at LAN, they looked strong again, beating Cloud9, Texas, and Miami on their way to the grand finals. But waiting for them was a familiar nemesis, the Los Angeles Thieves. And this time, LAT came out on top, taking the series 4-2. FaZe had to settle for second place. Despite ups and downs, FaZe finished the regular season second overall, primed for a champs run. But when the lights were the brightest, they faltered. A 3-0 sweep at the hands of Optic Texas set the tone for the weekend. After surviving Carolina, FaZe's season ended with another sweep, this time to Miami Heretics. Top 6 at champs, another year, another missed opportunity. Against LAT and Optic, their greatest rivals, FaZe couldn't find the answers. Rebrands don't really fix the problems, but they offer an opportunity, don't they? New identity, new expectations, but the big question is Vegas FaZe going to be a facelift or a functional rebuild? Well, the team changes were surgical. aBeZy and Cell out, Abuzah and 04 in. What that did is that kept that same fast, selfless, trade-heavy system. But if they can bootstrap instinct trust quickly and they can develop the bond and relationships quickly outside and inside the game, then I have no doubt Vegas FaZe are going to become the nightmare that they once were. This is a fast, ultra-aggressive AR pressure plus selfless SMG in 04 and the MVP potential candidate of Simp. If they can't do that, then it's going to be the same pattern as last season, the seasons before, but with different colours. Some concrete markers for success and failure for me in 2025 is, can Abuzah and 04 get over their finals bump? Can they win a finals and not let that mental block in their head remain? And Simp's form. Can Simp return to his 1.15 plus takeover potential, you know, taking over games with his talent? And if FaZe start slow, they lose a couple of games online, how much time do you give them? To give you my short verdict, I feel like Vegas FaZe in 2025 and 2026 is less of a rebuild, but more of like an evolution. But even with evolution, like all evolutions, it requires gamble. You had two players from Vancouver Surge, and they arrive with a reputation for team play and that quick pace that works. And they prove that it works, right? Are they that missing piece, or are they just louder versions of what FaZe already had in previous years? So we'll talk about Abuzah first. Abuzah is the fast AR. Overall KD at 1, hardpoint KD at 1.04, decent stats on the screen. But where does he shine for this FaZe team, right? So we look at these stats on the screen here. Damage per minute, engagements, and objectives. These stats tell you he is fast. Not only is he quick, but he gets as much space as he can, and he trades relentlessly. Meaning, what that means is he's going to slide first, he's going to bait for you, and he's going to open up timings for his teammates. Now, when he's opening up timings for Simp, that can make the game easy for him, and that can set up Simp to be that MVP material player that we know he can be. We look at 04, and we call him the playmaker, right? Balanced stats across the board. Stats will be on the screen. You could argue, okay, statistically, maybe a downgrade to aBeZy, right? But now these are the stats, and this is what he brings. Second in non-traded, third in first bloods, highest first deaths. You know what this tells you about 04? This guy is a playmaker. This guy's got balls of steel. He opens rounds, he creates space, he opens timings, and he gambles for first bloods. He will take a timing if you give him a timing. Now, this is a double-edged sword, because sometimes he pays that with his first deaths, right? He has high variance and high reward. 2 majors, a champ's heartbreak, a city, and a name change. So here's the real question, guys. Did Atlanta FaZe die, or did it just get an upgrade? So on paper, it looks like Vegas FaZe is faster, it's louder, slightly quicker, built to trade, right? Abuzah's AR pressure plus 04's first blood playmaking ability, you know, it could flip finals into their favor if they can do it. But paper isn't a championship. We already know this, guys, right? The season will be decided by instinct under pressure. Are they going to do this when the pressure is the highest? Do they have time to mesh? Are they reading late round reads? Can Simp reach those MVP burst levels again? If they solve those things, then this Vegas team looks like a rebirth. If not, it's going to be the same story with brighter lights. What do you guys think? Is Vegas FaZe a facelift or evolution? Drop your takes in the comments below. I'll read the next ones in the next breakdown. The next breakdown is going to be Koi. So anything you guys want for that, please just let me know. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe. See you on the next one.